Hey, my beautiful people, my name's Kristen. Thank you for taking some time stopping by my channel. I have a book haul. I recently did a trip to Austin for some continuing education conference, and the conference let out at 11 instead of at 12. And so even though I had plans in the afternoon, I had this hour. So I Googled bookstores near me, and there was a half-price bookstore on the highway on, where I was going. So I spent an hour in half price books in Austin and got a bunch of books. And then have you ever done that thing where you buy one thing and it preps you to be weak and buy a bunch of other things? So then there was a couple other books that I were on my list I was looking for that I really wanted to get. So then I went online and ordered a couple more books. So I've got a book haul. And first off, the Robert Jordan Wheel of Time. These were $5.49. So I just picked up all the ones that I didn't have because I definitely want to go through the whole series. I think there's 10. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember how many there are, but I know that I had through 3. So I got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I got through this is book 9. So I think there's 10. They didn't have a 10. There might be more than that. I don't know. I don't remember. I think there's 10. I know Brandon Sanderson took over writing them after Robert Jordan's death, and I can't even remember definitively off the top of my head where it is that he starts picking up the writing instead. But anyway, I'm looking forward to carrying on with those. I'm hoping, I've got the 3rd one on my TBR for the month, so we'll see how that goes. Then speaking of Brandon Sanderson, I found the 3rd in the Wax and Wayne trilogy, the Mistborn II. So this is Bands of Mourning, and there's only the one. So I think this is kind of a spoiler cover that shows that maybe at the end of the last book or in this book, that Wayne dies. I don't know that. Don't tell me. Don't tell me definitively, but I'm pretty sure that gave it away. There's a lot of covers of series like that. When you see the cover, you're like, oh, well, now I know what happens. So get down here. I also got a copy of Uncle Tom's Cabin. I may have already got a copy of this, but I wasn't sure. And this one was like $5, and I liked it. The copy of it. It looked really easy to read, this version, and this is definitely on my February TBR. I'd already decided I wanted to read this, and on Juneteenth, which is one of the ones that I ordered online because of course I didn't have that one. And then my friend Nikki at Red Dot Reads was one of the ones. This has been getting a lot of accolades and talk around BookTube, but she was one of the ones that really loved this, and I have a similar reading preferences and style to her, so I went ahead and picked up this one. And then there's another one in here that I ordered online. This one, What the Wind Knows by Amy Harmon. Nikki, let me know. I think this was you who recommended this, but I may have seen this somewhere else, and I'll try to find it and leave a link to that channel or that review below if I can find it, because those two. And I honestly don't remember what any of these books are about. So also leave me a comment when they're hauled books. Do you want me to read the synopsis or share my interpretation of the synopsis? Or this one, speaking of which, I saw over at AJ Dunn Reads and Writes channel, and they had said that this book was really good. They had liked it, The Time Traveler's Wife. And I do remember that it is the premise of there is a man who can time travel, and so he knows who he's going to marry, and so he tells, I guess, the girl before, hey, we're going to do this, and she understands what she's committing to, and she commits to it. And I don't know how it all plays out, but I love time travel kind of books, and I kind of like the romance aspect. I also, at half price, had this pretty much new version, half price new, of an H.J. Wells. So I'm still working on a lot of his classics. Have never read this one. Don't remember a lot of people talking about it. And it's not that big of a book, so I thought this would be an easy classic for a month that maybe I've got some bigger other things committed. I also found this beautiful little book of Japanese living. My 2 boys are going to Japan for a couple weeks for their annual vacation, and my oldest is considering teaching over there. And I just think this is just a beautiful little book of travel information, of art, of history. It's just multiple things. And so I hope to enjoy this and then pass it on to my son. And it was at Half Price Books. Then this one was also Half Price Books. So this one I think was $9.99. Yeah, originally when it came out it was $19.99, so I paid $9.99 for it. This is the second in the Skyward young adult trilogy by Brandon Sanderson, which I just read and reviewed that first one. And so this is a story of Sensa. She is on another planet in another universe, but still human, trying to navigate human survival basically on kind of a shipwrecked planet, and how do they survive, and how do they deal with the threats that are out in the universe, and how do they make peace. And it reminds me of the original Star Trek in a good kind of way. So there's that one. Then this one goes a nod to Alice and the Giant Bookshelf, because one of her books that she talks about a lot is CloudCuckoo Land. And so I finally, this was my kind of splurge, because even at half price, I think this book was still like $14 or $15. So, but I went ahead and picked it up. I like having it in the hardback, and I think this is a beautiful cover. And I don't think this is really anything special, but I do like having hardbacks, and I'm hopeful that I like a lot of the same books that Alice likes. So I'm hopeful that this will be a keeper for me, and that it was worth investing into the half price. So I'm not even sure exactly I can't remember what it's about, besides the fact that sometimes my BookTube reviews that I watch just influence me. And if it's somebody that I know that I generally like what they like, and they are recommending something, it just jumps into my cart. This is how I do it. And then this was actually a half price book. I paid like $6 for this beautiful book, and it is like an adult coloring book, but it's even more than that, because it talks about some of the history and folklore around mandalas, which is basically this circular pattern that you see in so much art, so much religious symbolism, and just using coloring mandalas and creating mandalas as even a form of spirituality. And so for Lent this year at church, we will actually be hosting a labyrinth, and we will be doing some artwork with some mandalas. And so I was going to copy some of this information, some of these pages, and just kind of use it in that way. Plus, I personally just resonate with mandalas. I love looking for the natural rhythms of circles in nature. That just really is very, very peaceful to me, and beautiful to me, and spirituality to me. And then a couple more that I got, that I ordered online, was the On Juneteenth. This is, I think if I remember correctly, I think I saw this on Brian at Bookish. And I think this was about Texas incident of freeing the slaves. That Texas was actually, I think, one of the last states that did the freedom of slaves. I think this actually took place in Galveston, if I'm remembering correctly. Let's see, the back says, the essential sweeping story of Juneteenth, integral importance to American history, prize-winning historian and Texas native. So the freeing and proclamation of the freedom of the slaves in Texas. So that will be a really, really awesome. So that will be my February reading with the Uncle Tom's Cabins. And then my niece is getting married to a young man whose favorite author is James Joyce. I have never read any James Joyce, and this awesome set on Amazon, I did support the big box company, but this whole thing was like $19.99 for the 4, and it just came so beautiful. And so I almost hate to undo it and read it, but I am going to try to attempt, I might even take it with me on our trip to the wedding and, you know, do that to appreciate and celebrate. Take the thinnest. I think the Dubliners is a good place to start. So let me know if you know James Joyce is the Dubliners. This is the Dubliners. Finnegan's Wake, A Portrait of an Artist, and Ulysses. So let me know out of those if the Dubliners is the place to start, but because I think it is. And it's a nice short one that I can carry on the plane easily. So, and I do want to also get Ulysses in the cloth-bound Penguin Classic edition. I'm really excited about that book too. So hopefully, I like James Joyce, but I'm hopeful that it will work out for me. So that was a big haul. And you know what? I may have ordered like 3 more books that aren't here yet. So they will show up in some future video, I am sure. But all of them, the 3 that are coming, are all also influenced by BookTube videos I've seen. So leave me a comment if you have been influenced to purchase something off of BookTube, and then let me know if it worked out. Did it actually live up to what it was that you wanted to, or, you know, was it not what you wanted? Because sometimes that happens, right? Sometimes I go, oh, I'm not with that. But usually it works out, which is one of the reasons we do this. So I appreciate you stopping by, checking out my haul. If you've read any of these and you think I should bump them up in my TBR, because I've got a ever-growing TBR, and a lot of these I probably will not get to anytime soon, but if I really do pay attention when you tell me that something is worth considering, and it really does make its way higher in my pile. So thank you for that. Have a beautiful day. Happy reading, y'all. Take care.